All right, guys, welcome back. It is time for Louisiana Legends. Colby is here, and we are learning more about Jean Lafitte. This is part 3.
Yes, wrapping up. And we could do 20 parts.
We really could.
I mean, he's such a fascinating character, and I just have a personal love and appreciation for his story and his history, and of course pirates. That's just I'm a pirate guy. So, but yeah, Jean Lafitte. We at the end of our last one, we kind of got to we culminated in really his death. Or what a lot of people believe to be. There was this battle, this naval battle off the coast of the Honduras. That's kind of where we left off. Supposedly he was mortally wounded in that, and that had appeared in a newspaper article. That was kind of the first official documentation of his death in that way. And there's a few different beliefs or theories as to his death, but I think that's been the most accepted one for a long time. Up until recently, a few years ago, there was a mother-daughter crew or group of who kind of got together, and they formed this theory through a lot of research that basically there was this man who appeared in Mississippi. I think it was something like maybe 10 years or so, or within a few years after the purported death of Jean Lafitte. He appeared somewhere in Mississippi. His name was Lorenzo Ferrer.
Okay.
And he didn't really have any history prior to that of his existence. He met the Henderson family of brothers, befriended them, one of which had him or convinced him to move back with him to North Carolina, where he did. And in Lincolnton, he started up his own new lifestyle there, this man Lorenzo Ferrer. And but there's all these similarities and suggestions as to why that may have been Jean Lafitte rebranded as someone different. One of the things that we know he did was he started and founded the Masonic Lodge in Lincolnton with Henderson, among a few other guys. And so some of the clues that kind of have pointed toward that have been suspicion that Jean Lafitte and a lot of the people that he was involved in prior to this was also a lot of Freemasons and that kind of thing. One of the bigger things, so there was this document that was found of this discourse between Jean Lafitte's lawyer and someone in Cuba who was known to be a friend of Lafitte, and they were apparently hiding someone there. But this was under the title or name Maison Rouge. And what we learned last time was that Maison Rouge was the name for Jean Lafitte's setup in Galveston. So that's kind of where we thought, well, maybe this is a code name for Jean Lafitte. There was a name of an actual person, Maison Rouge, as a last name, so it could have been something different, or someone different. But then one of the bigger clues, again, and there's just so many of them, is that they found in that Masonic Lodge a sword that hadn't been donated by anyone that they were aware of. So it must have, because it wasn't documented, so it had to be one of the founders. And it was from the 1812 era of the war. It was validated, and it had an inscription on it of J.N. Lafitte, the way that he spelled on the hills of the sword, the scabbard, which was verified by an historian of that type of artifact, that it could very well be original, because it had, an oil finish over it that was kind of also from the time period of the origination of the sword. So, all this to say, and many other things, that Jean Lafitte could have lived a much longer life. As a matter of fact, till he was 95 years old, as this man Lorenzo Ferrer in North Carolina.
That's so cool. I mean, who would have thought that he potentially could have had an alter ego and come back as someone else and start anew?
He had many alter egos, so what's to say that he didn't use one to propel himself into a longer life?
Back then it was so easy to get an alter ego and just fall off the face of the earth. Nowadays
they didn't have phones, they didn't have cameras.
Yeah, you moved somewhere, gave yourself a new name, and
they wouldn't be able to say anything.
By carrier pigeon, it took days.
I love a carrier pigeon.
I know you do. Well, Colby, I'm so glad that we covered Jean Lafitte and we kind of tied his story with a bow today. Yeah. Thank you so much.
As am I, of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course. If you guys at home want to learn more and watch parts 1 and 2, go to KDN.com. Just type in Louisiana Legends. You'll find all of the legends that we've covered there. I'll be right back after this.